Hello, this is Goto. Welcome back to Feed the Beast Interactions. Since last time, I have upgraded all of the cables in our base. We are now running on green, terra steel. Um, so almost all of the cables in the base have been updated to terra steel, and I have not updated any of the voltages. So in a lot of these places, they're still carrying the same amount of power. It's just now on terra steel. So our main crafting machines up here are still just being powered by 8 combustion generators, so they're still getting 8 amps. Um, this what is this thing called again? The multi smelter is still operating with 4 medium combustion generators. Though I did update the hatch up there to be HV energy hatch just because we're going to be running a HV line directly into it soon. And yeah, I also placed this cable over here. This is and dug out this area. This is where we're going to be having the generators we're going to be working on building, which we're going to talk about. But I took a cable and I ran it up into the subfloor. So it's up here. It's going that way and that way. Goes under the dense ME cable here, and then from here it can go down to get to ore processing, and then I made another hole over here to get to chemistry. And I did not route it over here yet to um, this dude, the oil processing. We'll probably just branch it off from this direction to get over there. Also at oil processing, I made a super tank over here, and I started catching the refinery gas instead of putting it um, into the steam cracker over here because refinery gas, like if we look at what it makes, only is really making it's making a lot of methane and then ethylene and then some other stuff, and then we are taking the some other stuff and that's turning into more ethylene and methane with the ethane, and then the propene uh, we are banking, but it's not a lot of propene. So also we are full on all three of those hydrocarbons. So I just was like, okay, we don't need to keep processing this. We're not getting anything out of it. So we're just catching it in a super tank here. And if we end up needing a ton of methane or ethylene in the future, I guess I can turn it back on then. But for now, we don't need it. Uh, Crystallized, or not crystallized, empowered oils continuing to run here. And right now we are just chugging away at some light fuel and naphtha. We ran out of heavy fuel, or not heavy fuel, but heavy oil, I believe. Yeah, we're out of heavy oil. So we had gotten about, I dug out this area back here. It was a heavy oil vein. We had gotten about 4,000 buckets or oil sand ore out of there, and that has now been depleted. But we did get a good 1.9 thousand buckets of toluene, which is like really good. That's a lot of toluene. And yeah, oil processing's been going good otherwise. What else did I have on my list here? This is just a quickie here. I made a nugget solidifier here. So it's just like the plate solidifier, but for nuggets, because I need to make gold nuggets. And then we'll also want that for infinity dust. Speaking of infinity dust, we are out of infinity dust. What does that mean over here? That means we only have 16 empowered canola seeds left. Cool. Also, what is this doing here? Why does this have a supplier pipe on it? What is the supplier pipe requesting here? Oh, right, infinity dust. Okay. So I put the supplier pipe there to make sure that this didn't overfill that slot. I guess I could have used a robot arm also, but also I just went to lean back in my chair and the recline was not locked and I was like, whoa. Anyways, and then new temporary EV setup. So you probably remember over here I had the EV assembler and I had some recipes set up over there. I ended up moving it over here, and I have a transformer over here. This is a step up transformer, If you don't know, you can take a transformer and you can hammer it with a soft mallet, and it'll change it from step down to step up. So this is taking 4 amps of HV and making 1 amp of EV power. So that when this runs, it's going to be using 4 amps of HV, but normally it wouldn't be able to get 1 whole amp of EV. It would only be getting like 1 amp of HV, and 1 amp of HV is not enough to keep it running. Technically, it gets 2 amps, but yeah, 2 amps of HV is still not enough to keep it running. So that's set up. And what I had wanted to do today was get some large combustion engines going. But when I was looking into it, I'm like, oh my, that is a lot of stuff that we don't have. So I went ahead over here and I made a large combustion engine kit. Go ahead and see what's in it right here. Let me put this back. And so the large combustion engine is this multi-block pattern. It uses a bunch of these titanium blocks, as well as these engine intake, which is just more titanium. It just uses a lot of titanium, to be honest. But there's some difficulties here. So in this dynamo hatch, you can use either well, I mean, there's a few options you can use here, but the one we're going to be using, because this makes EV power, is we are going to be using an EV dynamo hatch. So an energy hatch, we have talked about. Energy hatches accept power into multi-blocks. A dynamo will generate power out of a multi-block. So this multi-block generates up to 6144 EU per tick, which a regular dynamo can only output up to 2 amps. So in order to be able to get all of the amps out, we need a 4 amp dynamo. So I looked at that recipe. Okay, so far so good. We need a regular EV dynamo, but regular EV dynamo, aluminum spring, power integrated circuit. Oh no, power integrated circuit needs an EV cutting machine, and it also needs a power integrated circuit wafer, which needs we need a HV precision laser engraver. Oh wait, we can do that right now actually. I thought we were locked on this one. Okay, well let me get phosphorus wafers. Just get a handful of them. And then what kind of lens did we need? PIC. PIC wafer is brown lens. So crafting lens brown. Crafting lens brown. Okay, I guess we only have one option here. Let me automate this because putting dyes and stuff around is kind of annoying. So no, we're not going to use that one. We're going to make we're going to use a regular glass lens. And I need to put this in the other terminal to get the fluid with there. Okay, and I need to put the glass lens again because I didn't like the one we had. Okay, so this goes in our chemical reactor? Chemical bath. Where's our chemical bath? Right here, okay. So we need some chemical brown dye next. Chemical brown dye is going to be easy, except we do have some cocoa beans, but do we have like another source of brown dye? Dye brown. And if not, can we make some? Because if this is our only brown dye, I would prefer not to squander it. Oh, here we go. Let's use some fluxed phytogrow to make more of this. And then really quick, I'm just going to see if there's other options. Brown, okay. Certainly that is an option that exists. Wait, metal mixture dust is... I mean, this is technically a brown dye. Okay. I don't know if I want to use that. What's in this? Iron, bauxite, pyrolusite, barite, chromite, ilmenite? Titanium, isn't it? Nah, I think we're fine to use this, to be honest. It seems kind of like a worthless material. Fertilizer is also brown dye. Brown artificial dye. I don't want to mess with that stupid machine. Okay, here we go. Here's our brown dye. That goes in the chemical reactor. All right. And because it makes a fluid, it outputs into our dual interface, which is no problem. All right, let's make our brown lens. Where's my time to bottle? Speed that up. Speed that up a little bit. And there's our brown lens. Let's throw that in here. I don't know that I need that many. Let's just use our time in a bottle here, drain this Energium crystal, and get some PIC wafers. Okay, so those are the wafers, but we still need the EV cutting machine to actually process them. And it's not even like the worst of our problems, because... Oh, let me put the Skystone lens back in here. And then for this brown lens, we'll throw it in the storage cover. So the other issue was LCE. If I go to craft the LCE kit that I made, okay, so titanium frame box, I didn't finish those. I guess I can go ahead and finish that really quick. Titanium frame box. Go ahead and use this. Use a regular wrench, please, with or dictionary substitution allowed. Okay, so LCE. Can we craft everything except the one thing that I know we can't craft? So the PIC wafers, because we need the cutting machine. And then, what is this? Tungsten steel. Yep, we need tungsten steel to make a EV dynamo. And the only way we're going to be able to get tungsten steel is by getting some tungsten. And how are we getting tungsten? That's right, we're going to be using the... Well, we're going to be using this recipe, tungstic acid, which comes from one of these. Here, tungstate. This is the one, right? Yeah, tungstate. And tungstate, our current and best source of that. We could crush endstone in a pulverizer. We would have a 2% chance to get a tungstate every operation if we do it in an HV pulverizer. So about a stack would give us 1 dust. Or we can centrifuge end dust. It's slightly better. Slightly better outcome. Endstone dust, how much do we get? We get 1 for that. Okay, so we would be centrifuging or pulverizing this, getting the tungstate, and then also trying to centrifuge this for a very small amount of platinum and then another piece of tungstate. So on average, each piece of endstone would be like 0.08. So it'd be like less than 10% of 1 dust per endstone. And then we had this option. To get small piles of tungstate, we can get them from the Infernal Deconglomerator, which will also get some, well, we'll get more platinum, which might be useful. We'll get a decent amount of helium out of there as well, and it's pretty cheap to run. It only takes LP and EU. It like also a small amount of EU, a minuscule amount of EU. So this is what I'm thinking. We can get a lot of tungstate out of our endstone. And how much do we have right now? This is going to be our only tungstate for a while. So we have 15,000 endstone. So if we did the other method of 8%, I mean, we'd still have 12,000 tungstate. But how much tungsten do we actually get out of this? So we have to take 7 of them to get 1 tungstic, to get 7 tungstic acid, so that's a 1-to-1 ratio. And then this is a 1-to-7 ratio. So if we process all of this through an inefficient method, that would be about 170 tungsten dust, pretty low. Whereas if we use the deconglomerator, that's going to be about 4 times more efficient. So instead of 170, we would get something closer to about 700-ish. I was about to say a bad combination of numbers there. So yeah, Inferno conglomerator's kind of what we're going for. But there is a catch. Infernal deconglomerator. So this thing is not a problem to make, or at least the controller is not a problem to make. So let me actually go ahead and request this up. I'm just going to put it in here in our multi-block requester. Infernal, request one of those, and then it also needed a bucket of sulfuric acid, so I'm gonna just grab that from right here. Yoink. Alright, and then we probably don't really need this pattern card anymore, so I'm just gonna clear it and put it away. So this is an infusion, which uses, what do we put in the middle? We put the MV machine casing, and we put these 5 blocks around it. Okay. So something like this. Machine casing in the middle, everything else around it. And there's a odd number of ingredients, so this is just going to be on a odd spot there by itself. And then for the materials, we needed, or for the aspects, we needed, I was like, wait, what am I looking at here? It's a different multi-block. 32 darkness, 32 exchange, 32 potentia, 16 air and fire. So we should have that. There's the exchange, there's the darkness, there's the potentia, and here's the air and fire. Okay, so we're all good on this. This should craft, no problem. We are having way, way, way more stability than we are losing, so no worries about that. I'm just actually just going to walk away because it's going to be done, and we don't really need to pay mind to it. Okay, so that's the controller, but would you be surprised if I told you the controller's the easy part? Because, well, let me make these other parts, I guess. Do I want to make a multi-block set for this? Probably not necessary. We're only going to be making one of these in all likelihood, but I will automate making these parts really quick. So let me go up here. We need a fluid output hatch, which we can make with a fluid input hatch. So let me just make the fluid input hatch recipe. And this needs stone drum. Also, we can make it with PBI. We can go ahead and use PBI. Wait, no, we don't have PBI. This one I meant PTFE. So let's use this. And, oh, we need a program circuit, and it needs to be number 1. Okay, program circuit 1. So this makes a fluid input hatch, assembler. I did end up, oh, I didn't actually go down here and do it. I did end up putting a program circuit card in all of these assembler interfaces. Because when they run, even though these patterns don't have program circuits, it still sets the circuit to 0, which I think is desirable because I don't think there's going to be a lot of conflicts where it puts stuff in and then it like miscrafts because it was on a bad circuit. But I also don't want that to be a risk. So if we just have it setting everything to circuit 0, that's fine. So I'm actually going to just grab my quartz knife here. Assembler P2P, I'm just going to copy that name and paste it up here, assembler P2P. So all of these are named the same, and then they don't appear as different interfaces on the interface terminal here. So now I go to assembler. We have the plus tier assembler, which is that one over there. And then we have all of our assembler P2P here. So, what did we even make? We made the fluid output hatch, and then I wanted to make that into an input hatch as well. Or wait, fluid output. We made the input. I'm making the output now. Get a screwdriver, a non-electric screwdriver, allow substitutes. Okay, so we can now make input and output hatches. Let's do the same for the buses. This needs a solid steel machine casing. We're going to use the polytetrafluoroethylene again. Okay, we need to go up here and put this one in here and put PTFE in here. it was 144. Woo! Couldn't get my pause button in time for that. Anyways, 144 drop of PTFE. And this makes the item input bus. And then we're also going to make the item output bus, again with the non-electric screwdriver, please. Allow substitutes. Assembler. Okay, and then, so we have item input, item output. We need an energy input hatch. Kind of like the same recipe over and over, isn't it? Programmed circuit. Energy input hatch is going to be this guy here. We will use PTFE again with circuit, whoops, circuit number 1. Go. Assembler. And then we need fluid input we have. Does this use both fluid input and fluid output? Like what are the recipes this thing is using again? It doesn't have a fluid input on it. What the heck? Okay, well, I guess if it did have a fluid input, we would put the fluids in there, but it only has fluid output, so kind of odd, but okay. Also, how big are these output buses? Item output bus? I wonder if we need to make multiple to be able to catch all of the items, because some of these recipes make... This one makes 6 items per recipe. This one makes 5, 4, 4. Item output bus. How much do you hold? Oh yeah, so we would need 2 output buses in all likelihood. Alright, well, got all of those automated and taken care of. Dynamic tanks, do we know how to make those? No, I think we used to know how to make those with our logistic pipes, but that's been a while. Red alloy cables, do we still know how to make those? Red alloy cables. Nope, we don't know how to make those anymore either. We can just make those with SBR. Yeah, those, but with the fluid, actually, is what I need there. Okay, thanks. Assembler. And looks like we're out of spaces for assembler cards. Let me go put some pattern expansion cards down there. Oh, okay. I guess we had all the stuff needed to make those. So plop one of you in here. And one of you in here. And then 2 of you in here. And the reason we're doing only 1 at a time is because every time we put a card in there, it increases the cost of how much that interface costs on our network, like a lot. So how much is our current power cost of our AE system? Almost 2,000 EU per tick. So 3.5 of these generators are all just going into powering our network. And yeah, that's a lot of power for our network with this kind of generation. We might need a dedicated generation at some point. I mean, not necessarily dedicated, but separate. Okay, dynamic tanks we can now make. Structural glass, I believe we already know how to make. Structural glass we don't know how to make. I said structural glass twice. Good job, me. Alloy smelter recipe here. Alloy smelter. So structural glass we're good on. Oh my god, that is hard for me to say. Zephirium erothium. What? Excuse me? What is that? Okay, that's not that bad. We would just need to make some erothium. I do believe we have blitz rods. Yeah, so that should be enough for the erothium, if I were to guess. It needs 10 buckets. Oh, maybe it's not enough, actually. And these blitzes are actually a little bit of a pain to find. So let's see, we would get 4, and each one of those is used to make 1 dust. And to make 10 buckets, we would need 1440. No, we would need 10,000 millibuckets divided by that. Reciprocal, we would need 69.4 or rounded up to 70 erothium dust. And we have enough for 80, so we just barely have enough for that, so we can make that. I can go ahead and cook that up, I guess. So let's go ahead and pulverize these. So that goes in the macerator. Then these go in the mixer with brine. Okay, mixer. Since we're doing quite a lot of those, I'll put those in the peer-to-peer mixer. Though, yeah, never mind. It doesn't need to be in the other one because it's not making a fluid and it doesn't have a circuit. No, we can put it in the other one. It's going to be quick enough. Okay, and then with that, we are going to put it in the, whoops. We are going to put this stuff in the fluid extractor to get the Zephyrian Erothium. Yoink, and that goes in our fluid extractor right here, which is going to need a pattern core next time we want to add something to it. And now we can just go to Erothium and make 10,000 millibuckets of that. Alright, so that is set. Might as well do the other stuff too. So structural glass 24. It is harder to say than you think, I swear. So 24 of these guys, and then 32 of these guys. Dynamic tank, 32. We don't know how to make red alloy wires. Oh my goodness. Wire mill. Okay. Dynamic tank, 32, go. Structural grass. Oh my god, I can't say the word. No, why am I making a pattern? We need to... Structural glass. Okay, I was able to say it if I, like, stopped and then thought about what I was saying. We have 2 already, so we can make 22, but it's going to make 24 because it's made in 4s. Okay, oh well. Alright, the dynamic tanks are done. This nether stuff, we just have nether bricks. How do you make a fence? It needs 14 fences. Sure. 1, 2, 3. There's the fences, and then slabs. I think you need to put those in a cutting machine, right? Yeah, okay, so 9 slabs to get 18, or 9 bricks to get 18 slabs. Throw that in our cutting machine. Alright, so we have everything, except you might have noticed I skipped over the second thing. LP focus node. Wait, what's that? It's for putting life essence into the machine, of course. And what does that need if not ardite, which I don't think we actually have. Do we have any ardite? Okay, we have some ardite. How do we cook this into ingots? I guess we gotta do it in the arc furnace. Ardite ingot, hello? So we can cook the ardite into ardite ingots. Ardite ore into ardite ingot. We can make the dust into the ingot. Oddly enough, I think we're going to have to use the dust to get the ingot, because I don't see any other way to do anything with this ardite dust. So... Once again, I have done that in the wrong terminal. Here we go, arc furnace recycling. It's not recycling, it's an actual pattern. Alright, arc furnace. Okay, we can now make ardite. There's kind of an elephant in the room, though, if you were looking at the recipe. So there's our ardites. Magician Blood Orb. That is a tier 3 block of Ardite. Okay, we need 9 more Ardites. This is a tier 3 orb. So, whoops. Let me just bookmark this guy. This needs a tier 3 altar with a block of Ardite, which is not difficult to make, but we don't have a tier 3 altar currently. We're going to have to upgrade our altar. And then we also need this Vengeful Demon Eye. Where does that come from? Well, we got to get some glowstone on some polished Vengeful Stone. Where does that come from? From Vengeful Stone, duh. Where does that come from? Vengeful Will Crystals. Yeah, so that is something from will farming that we have not set up yet. Like, not even a little bit. So, this is becoming quite a deep rabbit hole. So, first order of business. We want to upgrade our altar. So let's go ahead and do that. So here's the thing about upgrading our altar, right? First of all, let me get our agonizer set back up. So we have a agonizer. I think I was using the zombie. The zombie and the agonizer does well. Yeah, zombie agonizer does 30 millibuckets per operation. Altar linker, I believe, is in my tool bag. Let's just link this up right here. Alright, so that's got power. That's got a zombie skull, or a zombie data model. And hopefully it is close enough to the altar to be able to send the blood over from here. Okay, linked altar to target. That's what we want to see. Okay, it is indeed linked to the altar. So that's making blood for us. As far as actually upgrading the altar, there's a few things we can do. So we can make blank runes to just upgrade the tier, and that will allow us to do the next tier of recipe. However, it's not going to make the recipe any easier. What kind of runes do we have over here? So we have some runes just from quests over here. Let me go ahead and let's do blank runes. So I believe each side over here, we are missing 5 blank runes on that layer and then 7 here. So that's 12 on one side. And we are missing 4 sides, so that's 48, and then we have 8 in our inventory. So we need 40 blank runes. 40. And I did actually go ahead and automate all of these things, or bulk crafted them. Nocturnal powder we can't quite automate yet, so I just bulk crafted a handful of those. And then arcane stone we can't really automate. I handcrafted a bunch of those. I did automate like nacre blocks and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. Those blank slates are going to take a minute to mix up over there. We can actually come over here and help out our mixers if we want to. Whoops. Please don't despawn. How much time do we have in our time in a bottle anyways? 200 hours, a lot. Yeah, I kind of just like come online and like sit here doing nothing all day sometimes. So time in the bottle is just kind of a free resource at this point. Alright, our blank runes are just about done here. Why is our Erothium not crafting? What's the issue here? Crafting Erothium dust. Where does that craft again? We didn't put the dang brine in the recipe. Alright, cancel the Erothium dust. craft. We need to put brine in this recipe. Gosh darn it. Okay, mixer. We are doing the mixer with the mold and no circuit for fluid. And then we are doing Rothium drops 10,000. Okay, Eureka, it works. Alright, and then we should have our blank runes as well. Blank runes. Yoink. Alright, let's put our runes down. So, efficiency runes, what do these do? They make it so that if you run out of blood in your altar, your recipe does reverse crafting more slowly. Runes of sacrifice, of course, make you get more blood from each operation. Runes of displacement make it so that when you pipe stuff out of your altar, it lets you pipe it out faster. And then blank runes do nothing. They only allow you to upgrade your tier. So this is now a tier 3 altar. We know because if I get the diviner out, I'll say so. Oh gosh, that noise scared me. It was loud. Oh, I have the actual stuff to make this, so it's actually going ahead and throwing those ruins where they belong. Alright, so we have finished the tier 4 altar. So the altar diviner put all of our blank ruins here in the 4th layer. The 4th tier layer. This is then where we're going to have to put the runes to get the 6th layer, and we also need the capstones for that layer, the 5th tier capstones. But the 5th tier capstone we are quite a ways away from. Anyways, since we are here, let's go ahead and make our ardite. Actually, let me grab both of these because we are making ardite plates with 4 of these. And a block with the rest. Bending circuit 1, okay. Ardite, block of ardite. How's our blood magic quest now that I remember that? Oh, we should probably do these. Blank slate. I will take one of those, please. Because the quest rewards are going to be quite handy. Like 8 blank slates, I will absolutely accept that. Reinforced slate. Okay, so to make a reinforced slate, we put a blank slate in the blood altar. So I'm going to take the orb away. Put a blank slate there. It's going to take a minute because this... How slow is this? Does it say here? Oh, yeah. It does 5 LP per tick. So 2,000 at 5 per tick is 20 seconds. So it's done. Alright, get our reinforced slate. What is this mob soup, by the way? I don't need this here. Throw this in the trash. Okay, ancient debris. Do I have any ancient debris? Why is it telling me to get ancient debris? I do have ancient debris. Good thing I didn't process all of it. So that gives us some netherite scraps. And netherite is the cap for the next tier of altar. And now it wants us to make a ritual diviner. It doesn't seem too bad. Let's go ahead and get ritual diviner stuff. Okay, so blank slates we have. We need air crystals, a living wood twig. I think we just have living wood over here, right? Yep, I will go ahead and make that now. And then 3 mana diamonds. Mana diamond. How long is this going to take to craft? We have the unstable mana, so it should be pretty quick. Like instantly. Okay, cool. And then we need everything except entropy crystals. Where's our crystals over here? So one of you. Whoop, nope, that's literally entropy. One of you, one of you, one of you, and then... I don't have any fire over here? think I have ignis dust over here. Ignis? Yeah, how do I get crystals out of this again? Autoclave with liquid starlight. Okay, let me get 36 of this because I would like to just use up like one whole bucket worth. So 36 of this. Let me get a cell of liquid starlight. Alright, throw it in our autoclave right here. Alright, and I will take one of those. Thank you. And the rest can just go into our system. Alright, that should be everything for our diviner. Get our resonating wand to do that. Alright, there's our ritual diviner. I will accept a altar diviner, I guess. I don't really need one, but also with the 5 levels of experience, I'm going to collect all of our experience, and then I will accept the 5 levels. I think there was another level reward somewhere else. Let me go find that one really quick. Here we go, 5 more levels there. Supply chain management. Oh, I forgot I found one of these in a dungeon. I don't need that reward right now, though. I also forgot there's big reward cells over there. I'll keep those in mind when I'm next to my ME drive next time. Alright, let me dump back my experience. Go back to the quest we were in. Hold on one second. What was our reward over here? Okay, this is just Thaumcraft stuff. Not worried about that right now. Sorry, I cannot find the chapter. Here we go. This is still not the correct chapter. Come on. There we go. Okay, this is the correct chapter. Alright. Master Ritual Stone and Weak Activation Crystal is the next step it wants us to do. But we can also branch over here and do Imbued Slate. So let's go ahead and do Imbued Slate. That is going to take us 5,000 with a Reinforced Slate. And how long does that one take to do? That one takes... a good... Actually, it should be the same time as the other slate. It should be 20 seconds. So there it goes. And then I'm going to pull that. This is the tier 3 slate. Sorry, I'm like flashing through this very quickly. More imbued slates. I will now pick up the Skystone brick so that it's like, yo, you already finished the altar. Good job. Pelotrio? Don't we already have Pelotrio? I'm pretty sure we already have a copy of this constellation. Yep, well, now we have 2 copies. Oh, and they don't stack. Okay. Oh, well, too bad. Demonic Slate is our next tier here. This uses 15,000. And you probably noticed our altar only holds 10,000. So in order to get one of these, I'm going to do that over there, and then I'm going to run over here with our time in a bottle and accelerate our blood production. Very much. Okay, and it is now generating blood faster than we are using it. And that's not really sustainable long term, but I'm also going to speed up the altar a little bit. It is enough to get one of these slates, which is all I'm after at the moment. There it goes. Demonic Slate. Alright, and then finally, to get the next tier of altar, we need a Pharos Beacon, which in order to get that, we need Vintium. And Vintium we cannot get until we go to Euclides Prime. Okay, so our altar is caught up as far as what we can make with it, wise, but we haven't really, like, what's the word? We haven't really upgraded it very much. Like, we'd like to get more runes, so if we go look at the recipe for runes, not runes, but rune, singular, plural. Be right back, 1 second. Okay, where was I? What train of thought was on? Oh yeah, so we have make these blank runes. They don't do anything for our altar. Um, but we can make runes that upgrade our altars, such as these runes up here. We just gotta work a little bit more for them. So speed runes, they make us craft our recipe up here faster. Not sure I really want them given on, you know, our blood situation over here. How much blood are we making right now? So we make 108 per operation, and I can speed this up if or I could, yeah, speed it up if I were to put the, some of our stuff in there. How fast is this operation? Doesn't say how like fast this is actually running here. 60, I assume that's going to mean 3 seconds per operation, right? Let's make the orb. So we needed the next tier of orb, so let's go ahead and do that. This is supposed to use 12,500 blood, right? So is this running at 3 ticks, 3 operations? Yeah, this looks like it's going about 1 progress per tick, so that's going to be about 3 seconds per operation. I don't know that this is actually going to make it to the crafted amount, so I'm actually going to go ahead and speed that way up. Make sure we're not going to fail this craft. 1 more tick, just for good measure. So this is going to give us our one more tick. Or let me just do 2. And I can go ahead and actually put that on there and absorb all of this extra blood that we're generating. So this blood is now in our blood orb, which means we can use it for like rituals and crafting and stuff. Alright, I'm gonna take this out once our thing over there ran out of juice and it started slowing down. We can actually make the next tier of orb as well. So we have the apprentice is the second tier. Weak blood is the first one. So I believe we can now make the master. Oh, except it needs weak blood shards, which I think to get that we need to make a bound weapon. Does it say that in the quest book somewhere? Weak blood shards. Well, weak activation crystals, that. And then, how do we get the strong activation crystal, though? Oh, doesn't really say. Star metal. And this is used to make the awakened one, so awakening an activation crystal, we will need that for. We want to get the more powerful ritual. Specifically, we need something called the Ritual of the Fallen Tower. Does it say that? Yeah, here, Mark of the Fallen Tower. Because from putting a block of black quartz in there, we can get thorium and pitch blend, which are pitch blend is a uranium oxide ore. And we can get uranium out of this, and we need uranium to make radon to make. This is quite a rabbit hole we're under today, aren't we? To make radon for quantum eyes, which we need to make a quantum eye in order to make a fusion crafting table. Or not the fusion crafting table itself, but the chaotic infusers. What requires the quantum eye over here? Hold on. What is the quantum eye needed for? I'm mildly confused. Why do we need a quantum eye? So we need a quantum eye. It gives us a quantum eye. And then why do we need that? What is that for? Oh, it's to make the draconic core. I see now. I didn't look at this recipe. So there's what the quantum eye is used for. Okay. So Mark of the Fallen Tower gives us uranium to be able to do that, and it also gives us the ability to do this recipe, which would give us um nothing that we particularly need. Rock crystal ore would probably be useful to get just in bulk, but everything else here is like not useful. So this is the one we actually need. Um, let's see if we can't craft our, whoops, didn't mean to put my dagger there. Magician blood orb. No, that's what I have. We need the master blood orb. Oh, right, we need the blood shard. So to get a blood shard, you need a bound blade. And to get a bound blade, what are we doing? Alchemy array, binding reagent with a diamond kopesh. We can get a bound kopesh. That one's kind of a maybe. Let's keep that one in the back pocket, but what are these other options here? Bound blade. Oh, these are the same. Okay. Bound pickaxe, bound axe, bound shovel. Okay, so we need one of these binding reagents regardless of what kind of weapon we go for. Let me just go for the kopesh because it looks like it's has a stronger base damage. And we will need a diamond sword and some diamond plates to make the diamond kopesh. That seems to be the easy part. Let's make this I forgot what it's called already. The binding reagent. So the binding reagent, we need to use this recipe here. So let me get this. And we also need 400 will in our gem. So let me put that one there. And then let me go get the needed ingredients. We need gunpowder, and then glowstone, and then, was this rose gold? Rose gold. Go ahead and get that one crafting up. And then we need infinity. And I ran out of characters to search with. Can I search for a reagent instead? Reagent. There it is. Okay, so we need one of these guys. One of those. If you didn't know, you can put pipes in your search, and then that allows you to like search an ore condition. Gunpowder, and then glowstone. How did I take the view cell out on accident? Glowstone, there we go. This should craft up into a binding reagent. All right, it is indeed crafting, and then let me get my alchemical ashes. I remember to do this, you had to do like a ritual of binding, like back in older versions of blood magic. Not sure what happened to that, but okay, so just double checking the order. We put the agent and then we put the kopesh. Okay. Do we have a diamond sword? We do in fact have a diamond sword. Okay, well, that saves us one thing. One less thing to craft. I was actually gonna laugh if we had a diamond kopesh, but no, we do not have a diamond kopesh. Alright, so binding reagent. And then oh, it's fancy. Look at this. Okay, and there's our bound kopesh. I believe it is actually already active, and we have to use it on mobs near a blood altar. Okay. So let me go get... I would like to enchant it with, like, looting, because I do believe looting helps. Apotheosis has books that you can enchant. That basically force a certain kind of enchantment onto the book. So I am getting these Tome of Weaponry. Let's just get, like, 4 of them. And then let me go over here. Oh, that's right. We don't have lapis over here anymore, huh? Because I put my lapis chicken in a different place. Lapis, yoink. Okay, so let us enchant some weapons. Oh, duh, we need experience. So I could just enchant some random junk on here, but if we enchant books first, we can see that this book did not get any looting on it, so we can try another book. And that did not get looting either, so we can try another book. And that did not get looting either, so we can try another one, but I'm out of experience, so let me go get more. Not that many, here we go. And we can basically just keep running this until we get a looting book. Do I want to keep these books? Probably not. I mean, I probably am not going to want to dump them in our system either. They're going to fill up our junk storage drawer, so... Let me make a few more of those Tome of Weaponry, though. Okay, it looks like we ran out of books. Can we make some more books, please? String and paper. Don't we have another recipe in here? PVC and paper and glue. I mean, honestly, the paper is the hard part, so how do we make paper? Phytogenic insulator with a paperback sapling. Wait, what? This recipe is... This should be in the sapling infuser. But I will keep that in mind, at least. Oh, look, we can put arc furnace some paper with the lava, and it'll give us pieces of paper. Yeah, sure. Uh-huh. I believe that. Sawdust and distilled water can give us paper. We don't really have distilled water, though. Sawdust and regular water as well. Okay, let's do that really quick. Paper. Honestly, I could also just do this. It's kind of funny. Maybe let's just do this. Paper. We don't have such a sapling, so let's make one. And now we can do this recipe right here. Yep, go ahead and make some paper. So if I try to make paper now, we are duplicating the paper. Okay, and it got stuck crafting the sapling? Nope, it figured it out. Okay. Unlike the logistic pipes, it can actually do these recursive crafts properly. Because it says, oh, I can get the item I need to craft myself back out of the recipe. Okay, so we got more paper. Oh, paper wasn't the problem, right? It was books. Book. Yeah, let's just use string. Alright, book. Make a stack of them. Alright, got some more books. If we need more Tome of Weaponry, we can make them, no problem. Let's see what we roll on these 4 books. Let me get more experience before I do it. I swear you can get looting on this, because this is how I got looting on my knife down here. Alright, I'm gonna just do a few handful more books, and then I will get back when I get what I want. Okay, finally, geez, it took a lot of books, but I finally got looting 5 and sharpness 6. That's pretty good, looting 5 anyways. Alright, let's go ahead and apply this to our Kopesh. Cost 16 more levels, that is fine. Alright, let's put our experience away. And now we are doing more damage with it, and we have a higher chance to get loot that we need. Let's put all our junk away here. And let's go find something to put on our altar. There's actually not mobs that are spawning near us due to our Lucerne ritual. Let's turn on night vision. So we're gonna have to bring something in and kind of let it follow us back. Let's get a few zombies. What's going on over here? There's like a lot of yellow dots here. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh. I dug an iron vein out here. There's a lot of things in there. Oh my. Okay, well. This little following is fine. I don't want you. You can stay at home. Home being here out with your friends. Alright, and I am slightly getting boxed in here. Let me run away a bit. Okay. So we have a nice following of monsters chasing us here. Just need to get them close to our altar. I don't know how close they need to be exactly. Kinda wish you could, like, auto-run at a set speed here. I'm having to stagger my walking. Almost there. It's just behind this, patch of trees over here. Use on mobs near a blood altar. So I don't know how near they have to be, so I'm just going to go, like, directly on top and hope that's enough. Oh no, please don't fall in the holes. Here, let me make a little bridge for them. Don't fall in there, thank you. Okay, here we go. We did not get the loot we needed from there. Did one of you get down here? Of course you did. I think I have a morb. Let me go grab a morb. That's like something you can pick up mobs with. Morb. Oh, I have a blaze morb as well. Okay. Oh, wait a second. Don't we have spawn? We have spawn items. Yo, look at these. Does it have to be a monster? Use on mobs near a altar. Let me see if it works on, like, cows. Because if it works on cows, that's gonna be sick. Then, like, we're set. We don't need to, go bring stuff. We can just use the cows that we have. But first of all, let me get this zombie out of here. Come here, buddy. Buddy. Bloop. Gotcha. Alright, so I'm just gonna dump you out here, and then goodbye. Same for you. Goodbye. I don't know where that slime came from, but okay, we do not seem to be getting any don't seem to be getting any blood shards yet. Alright, let's see if this works on cows. Okay, please stop getting baby cows. I don't know if those give loot. Either this is incredibly rare, or passive mobs do not work. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I say to the cows I'm killing in one hit anyways. Hey, can we, like, stop getting baby cows, though? I mean, it's definitely doing something. We're, like, getting a different effect from hitting them up here. Stop giving me baby cows. Wow. No blood shards from all of those, huh? So I'm thinking we might need to do morbs, to be honest. Let's go make a bunch of these empty morbs. How do you make the reusable ones? I don't know that we can actually make the reusable ones, so that would make this to be reusable. Yep, that would make those morbs that we have there actually be like a, kind of like a rare commodity, and we have one of them, so... let me get some regular morbs, though. We can just make, empty morb. We can just make this by... Hello, crafting terminal? We could just make these by, like, the stack full. So let's go get some mobs. And I know just the place to get them. Wouldn't you know it? It is in a hole somewhere. Where might I be referring to? Hello. Maybe I don't want creepers. Oh, these don't stack either. Well... Can I stack them in here? No, they still don't stack even in my modular storage. Well, honestly, that's fine. Let me go get... I don't think I want trolls. I think trolls can break blocks, so I don't want them in my base just in case they overwrite mob griefing. I mean, here, I can take one just to test. But the rest of these guys, I am not gonna bring with me. Okay. Looking good. I think after I finish wrapping this up, it's probably going to be a good spot to wrap up the episode here. Okay, so first of all, let's test Troll. I want to make sure it doesn't destroy land, and if it does, we are not using those. Let me get a bit of inventory space cleaned out here, because I would like to get, I'd like to put some of these Animus shards in my inventory, so I can get some regen. Okay. And then I'd also like to put my Magician Blood Orb on the altar, so it can just be charging up. Alright, here we go. Troll, let's test you over here first. Do you... I guess here's a theory. Since it's daytime, these are going to turn into stone. But can the bound Kopesh still destroy them? Please don't let something stupid happen when I spawn this here. Okay. Kopesh? Oh, heck yeah, it still works. Let's go. Okay, well, since these do not stack, I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna do this, so... Can't help but notice we did not get what we needed there. You get some sticks, though, and other stuff we don't need. Alright, let's do... I believe creepers are like, safe for our area, right? Yeah, no problem with creepers. If we don't get the Blood Orb after all this, though, I'm gonna probably conclude there are some kind of issues here. It doesn't actually bind. I don't know what that means. Let's see here. Bandage and heart can go over here. These guys are just like dying before they can react. It's kind of funny. And move these drops over here. Just so if we get more, they go auto-stored away. Okay, so I think we are finding something out about the bound Kopesh, is that it doesn't seem to work. Possibly. Not bound. Let's get a different bound weapon. I'm just gonna spawn in a sword just to test it. So, bound sword. Current owner is Godel. Let me get some spawn cows first, see if those work again. Spawn cows. Because if these work and the bound Kopesh does not work, I think we know what the issue is, right? Okay, well, this doesn't one-hit them. It's also not giving me, like, the same effects, so I'm not entirely sure what's happening there. Put these healing orbs away. They take so much inventory space and my health's full, so... Like, once again, I'm just not getting the shards here, so either passive mobs don't give it, or I am incredibly unlucky. Do I need blood in here? Hold on. Stop taking all the blood for a second. Let me refill this. You, sir, come up here. Okay, well, you were kind of in the way. Okay, this still isn't, doing what the bound Kopesh was doing. Okay, so in conclusion, I don't think passive mobs work. Because it would have worked with one of these weapons. Okay then, so let's go use some more morbs on some creatures. I imagine there's more creatures down in that hole still. Okay. There's actually so much happening here I cannot see, but I am just throwing morbs like crazy. And, hoping we are getting everyone. I don't really want the trolls. Can we leave the trolls here? Okay. Let me get out of this hole. Alright, thank you, Magnet, for bringing all of these up here with me. Alright, and we managed to get all of the things in our inventory. That's nice. Alright, so if this sword does work, I'm just going to keep the sword and then unspawn the, what's it called? Unspawn the Kopesh as, like, a trade. Alright. Skeleton horse? Oh, gosh. Horrifying noises. Skeleton. Creeper. Okay, this one I'm a little cautious of, but we were fine. Curse creeper? Alright, well, I don't think I want it blown up on me. Troll, I don't want. Throw that away. Why did I spawn one of these? Alright, well, unsurprisingly, a metal T-Rex did not drop a blood shard. How did I get so many troll morbs? Jeez. Okay, well, luckily we have, mob griefing in our claimed chunks, so that wasn't really a big deal. Hey, there we go. Finally got one. Jeez. Either they are unreasonably rare, or, like I said, the Kopesh wasn't working. I'm gonna go with the Kopesh doesn't work, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete this one. And then, can I at least enchant, like, my looting back onto this? How would you do this normally? If you go here, and I remember there is an enchant. No, maybe that doesn't exist on this version of NEI. Oh well. Okay, we're just gonna leave it. I'll just make a new enchantment. It's fine. But okay, there we go. We finally have a weak blood shard. And what am I gonna do with it? Bro, I messed up my lighting over here. Bro, being me. Okay, thank you for the regeneration potion, I guess. Okay, well, we got one weak blood shard, so that is enough to stick in here. And go accelerate our agonizer in a panic, because wow, does that use a lot of blood. And then we can slowly speed this one up. Okay, there we go. This should be able to finish the craft because we are making blood much faster than is being drained here. Don't prove me wrong. Oh, okay, we barely finished it. Nice. Master Blood Orb complete. Ooh, that was rough. Where's that quest even? Over here? Okay, well, so we have the Master Blood Orb. Put that in there. Now that's going to drain the blood into the blood altar, or not the blood altar, the LP network for that orb, which holds 1 million, according to this quest right here. The Mark of the Falling Tower is going to take 500,000 LP, so we're basically going to need to charge that up before we do anything else. But next time, I'm thinking we might actually work on upgrading our altar a little bit, because we're going to need to make some stuff here. We're going to need to make some stuff to get the wheels, because besides needing the Mark of the Falling Tower to get Pitch Blend and Thorium, we're also going to need this stuff over here to get the Vengeful Will Crystals, specifically is what we're after, but all of these we're going to want. Anyways, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode. Next time we will probably work on doing some automation for our Blood Altar. I'm not going to be sitting here and just pumping in, what's it called? I'm not going to be sitting here pumping in items by hand one at a time. No, no, no. We're going to be auto-crafting them. And we're also probably going to make some runes, so I'm thinking making Rune of Sacrifice. Never mind, we can't make those. Vengeful Will Crystals, right. Rune of Capacity, I would like a couple of those, just so that we can get more, more space on our altar. What's it called? More capacity of blood on the altar. Acceleration Rune is good, but kind of expensive to make. Jeez. Demonic slates to make those. And then Speed Runes. What does Acceleration Rune versus Speed Rune do? Hold on, I need to look this up. Oh, Acceleration Rune helps with getting fluid out of the altar faster. Okay. That's probably something we're gonna want then. Charging Rune? I think Charging Runes are useful. Charging Rune... Rune... Blood... I gotta Google this. Blood, Magic, Charging Rune. It might be, like, in the manual, but I do not have the manual up right now. I'm just Googling it. Charging Rune... is able to hold charge. So it holds 1,000 charge. Charging occurs once per 20 ticks, which is reduced by acceleration runes. Okay. So basically a charging rune is like a battery. Interesting. Converts blood altar into a different form of item creation. When blood altar is not crafting, it converts LT into charge, which will instantly create items when there is enough charge. This constantly drains LP from the blood altar if there's not enough charge. Use what charge it has, and then the rest of the charge will be given. So basically, it's like a battery, but the battery applies instantly, if I understand correctly. That might actually be useful to have. Then we can, have a bunch of them, and then it's just like pop when we put stuff into craft, which isn't going to be like constantly, so. Okay, I'm also going to try to enchant this blade, because I think we will need more, weak blood shards. Let me just look at what we use those for really quick. Relic apple would be used for canisters if we want to make these to get more health, which I'm kind of meh on. We're going to have a lot of health once we finish our astral sorcery plan. We will need another for the greater Shartark gem. I don't know what these are. We will need another for demon blood shard, because we need that for bloody chicken. Do I care about bloody chicken though? Honestly, I am not entirely sure I care about bloody chicken right now, because we can get blood apples. But blood apples is 10 life essence, so it's kind of like, so what, dude? I make them so slowly. Might as well not even exist. Okay, that's gonna be it for this episode. Sorry for rambling. If you're enjoying the series, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be here in Enchanting Hell for a bit longer. But in other news, I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.